Hello, this is Jacob Folger, and I'm a sculptor, and I like to share what I do. And today we're going to make a dragon. I've got some clay here. This is water-based clay, and the brand is Marblex, and I like working with Marblex pretty well. It comes soft though, so if you go to buy water-based clay at the art store or the craft store, make sure that it's soft and pliable when you buy it, before you buy it. We're going to start off with rolling a oblong shape, and if I roll it at one end it becomes a point like this, and I'm going to put this on the board here, and that's going to be, this is actually going to be a wall sconce to hold a candle, a votive candle holder. I want to make it a little bit longer, so I'm just going to add a little bit more clay at the top here. And I've been making dragons for many years. I had made a dragon like what I have in mind here today that was much bigger. It's about 18 inches tall, but I just want to do a smaller version of that today. So this is going to be like a castle turret here that I'm making now, and I'm just layering on clay to make it the shape that I need, smoothing it in with my finger. See, there we go. It's really fun to sculpt. It's good for all ages. Anybody can enjoy it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a ball like this with in between the palms of my hands, and get it kind of round, and then I'm going to squeeze it like this to make it flat. And I'm going to set it up on top of the sconce, and that will be the place where the candle will go at the top. And you know, this is really not going to be the kind of thing that you would want to burn a regular candle on. Maybe better for a battery powered one. I'm just trying to make it flat. There we go. Now I want support for that, and I don't want it to be overhanging that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take little balls of clay, just roll them between my hands here, make it a little bit bigger, and you'll see what I'm going to do here in a second. I want to have kind of a transition to have it look a little bit better. I'm going to put a block here of clay. Then I'm going to do two more for the sides. I can just form them by pushing like that. There we go. It's getting a little bit of clay here. And that just makes it makes it look better without diminishing the size of the top of the sconce. And then what I'll do is I'll take my sculpting tool here. Sculpting tools, they usually come in a package, and you get different sizes, different shapes. This one here is the shape I prefer. It looks like this. I use this tool all the time. I've been using it for many years. I've carried it with me all these years. And just go ahead and blend this into the main part of the sconce or the turret, because this is going to be like a castle turret. Is what I'm making here. This will hang really nice on the wall. There we go. And you don't have to worry about it being too rough or anything, because after we're all done here, we can smooth it out with a paintbrush and our fingers, wet fingers. I'm just going to even this side up here because I do want it to be somewhat symmetrical. I think while I'm doing this, I think what might look better is if I just take the corner of this off here. Just cut that off there. Doesn't it look better? Yep. And this one too. Yep, that looks a lot better, I think. Okay. Now we're going to start the dragon. And we need to have a noodle of clay basically to start off with that will work from. I'm getting clay here. So the best thing to do is just roll your hands to and fro over the clay. And this will be his head here. And it's going to be spiraling around the turret. Just cut it off here. And then bring the noodle. Let's see, I need a little bit more clay here. So this one will be come around here like this. And then I think actually I'm going to try to move that up a little bit. That's the beauty of clay, is that you can just change direction without much problem. I think actually what I'm going to do is have his tail come back around like this. So it's a one spiral around, and then it's coming back around like this. You just want to blend that in, have it nicely smooth flowing. There we go. Get some water in my hand and just smooth this out a little bit. Also, you know, when I start getting my hands into the clay, I actually receive energy from it. It's from the earth. The clay is from the earth. It's soil. It's dirt, basically, is what it is. It's soil is what it is, and I start to receive energy from it. And I get inspired. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to add a little bit of clay to this and try to make it a consistent thickness all the way down. I'm going to terminate the tail here. You might have trouble seeing that. I just terminated the tail, so it's coming off the end of the sconce. Just gonna clean this up and just make it a little bit smoother coming there. This is something I refer to as relaxed form. I'm a self-taught sculptor. I've never had any classes in art at all, and but there's certain terminology that I come up with, and I don't know that it probably has a kinship in the terminology I use to terminology that somebody might learn if they studied art. And relaxed form is when you have a form like this dragon, and it's not tight, it's not uptight, it's not jacked up with a board up its butt. It's smoothly flowing, relaxed on the turret, and that's what I refer to as relaxed form. I'm going to start to make the eye here. I'm going to use this tool to create a little eye socket. And then I need an eyeball, so I'm going to put in a round piece of clay for the eyeball. It's got to be relatively small. And it's a little bit big. Sometimes you have to resize it a little bit. There we go. Now, you know, it's a dragon is similar to a serpent in a way, so it would have a serpent's eye. So basically create the pupil. That actually, I messed it up. I'm going to take it out. Start over again. Which is, again, the beauty of clay. So put a new eyeball in there, and this time I'm going to make it with the knife. It's there we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to make the eyelid. And I actually want it to be almost like a eyebrow at the same time, because I want it to go back beyond the eye. So I'm going to roll a noodle of clay, and remember, relaxed form, not jacked up. There's a little bit of a triangle there, and relaxed. Isn't that nice? Now I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to blend in. When I say blend, I mean to draw clay from one piece to another. So I'm drawing it from the eyelid or the eyebrow to the head. There we go. Now I need a nostril, so I'm just going to basically use the same tool to make a little indentation, and that's the nostril. And then I'm going to make with the other end of the tool, I'm going to make an indentation for the mouth. I'll probably downturn. Just push up on that a little bit. There we go. And let's carve that back a little bit. Okay, it's about time for the scales, but I just want to make sure the body is fairly smooth. So I get a little bit of water on my hands. And just make sure that's nice and smooth. Because once I put the scales on there, it's going to diminish the amount of working space allowed to do smoothing. Before I put the scales on, I'm going to do the spade for the tail. I roll a ball between my hands. I roll it to and fro at one end just to create a point. And then flatten it out. And I'm probably going to pull the corners out a little bit just to make it more triangular shaped. Maybe bring that to more of a point there. And put that on. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to do the ridge scales. And I often do my scales this way. You know, another great tool to have is a misting bottle like this. You can keep your work wet. You can wet your clay that you're working with without it being too much of a problem. If your clay is drying out. You can roll a noodle like this and bring it to a point, and then just put it on the point of the tail. Okay, so now we're going to start putting these scales on. Don't want them too big. And remember, relax form while you're doing this too. So we'll put the scale on here. Blend it in at the top. And you notice how I'm kind of got it a little flourish of having the scale not come directly straight down, but flourished over to the left. Okay, make another scale here. We got the same thing going on. And then later on, when I get further up, I can change direction again. Let me get that. I'm going to start moving the scales. Let me get my camera adjusted here. Moving the scales to the top here, the top of the dragon, so that you can see it a little bit better. Blend it in. Okay, and another. So now it's moving to the top. Okay, keep going here. Okay. A little bit more over. And you can put scales in the body as well, but it's very time consuming. One way to do it is to do it with markings with a tool such as this. You know, making markings like that. Another way to do it is to actually make scales by rolling little balls like this. I've done this, by the way, and I did it on a big dragon gargoyle, my guardian gargoyle, back in the 90s, and this gargoyle weighed 250 pounds. It was huge, and it took a lot of hours to make that, a couple hundred hours. But this is how I'm doing it. I'm just showing you how I did the scales. I rolled these little balls. And then just lay the scales on like that. And work your way all the way up. So just if you want to do that, you most certainly can. It's going to be your dragon. Let me just cut this off here. And then we got a few more to do here. And if you when you let this dry, if you let it dry slowly, just cover it loosely with plastic when you're finished, it'll be a lot more solid when it's dry, and then you can put a nice cool metallic finish on it. And you can see how to do those that finish, the bronze finish, in one of my videos, or just hand paint it. But it's really nice. It's a patina finish, and boy, it just makes things pop. So then we bring the scale right up to the top here, and there we go. Now we just want to get that little flourish that we had earlier. I think this lower jaw here is a little bit big, so I'm just going to cut that back a little bit. This dragon I'm not going to put wings on. I'm just going to blend some of this in down here. There we go. And there we go. So, I think the one thing that could be a little bit better is if the head was a little bit more back. So I'm just pressing it back. So there's my dragon sconce revisited, and I'll put a picture of the other one in there as well. Now if you take a paintbrush, dip it in the water, and just smooth the clay. Just when you dip the brush in the water, you should dab off the brush on a piece of wood, or even a cloth, a dry cloth or something like that. Just dab it off because you don't want to muddy up your work. You don't want too much water on it, and especially be careful around the eye, because that will get easily muddied up. Now, one thing that you could do also is to make it look more like a stone on the sconce. You can take your tool and draw in what looks like stones, like this. I have that on my other sconce. So that's another thing you can do. and then just take your time and go around and smooth it. It could take you a good hour or so to do that. You can use your fingers as well, but the smoothing will help bond it all together, and then again just let it air dry slowly when you're all finished before you finish it. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and visit my website at jacobfolger.com. Thank you.